Hey guys, doing well today. So yeah, Scotland have just beaten France in the last round of the Six Nations. Being first of all, congratulations to Wales. This does mean that they do win the Six Nations for 2021. So congrats to them. Definitely comment below if you're excited. Obviously, if you're a Welsh or Scotland fan, you must be buzzing as well. This is a great win for Scotland as well. I do believe this puts them fourth on the table, but obviously that's like 15, so they're drawn with I believe Ireland. Who was first. That's still a very good result at the end of the day. And yet they have beaten France 27 points to 23. So yeah, that's a huge win for the Scots. I mean, this does mean now that they've beaten both England and France away within the Six Nations. So that's, first of all, that's an amazing thing to hear for the Scots. I mean, that definitely shows the progression they've had throughout, even from starting from last year coming into this Six Nations. So yeah, they've done really well, and yeah, credit to them really. I mean, obviously earlier on, Scotland did get off the mark, you could say, with that Van der Merwe try within the 14th minute, and that kind of put them up, 14, I believe, like 10 to 3 at that point. And yeah, and obviously Finn Russell then was able to convert that. Put another penalty onto it, so that made that 13 to 3. But yeah, the French did come back, obviously, with Nanteback getting a penalty to himself, and then I believe it was Bruce Dunn who got it. It was a pretty good try, actually. I'll give it to them. The French, they went down that right hand flank, and yeah, all they had to do was just I think it was Dupont who passed it out, and then Penard literally went around, I believe, Richie. I'd be wrong with that, but I think he went around Richie, and then he clawed the ball back, and then yeah, all he had to do was just pass it to Giroud, who just clearly ran through and scored the try. So that was probably one of their best tries, I'd say, throughout the game. But more or less, France really did continue their momentum. Obviously they converted that try, so that put them back into the game really. But then Stuart Hall actually got a yellow card. Literally just before the half ended, I believe in the 39th minute. So yeah, that was a huge loss, you could say, for Scotland at that point. Obviously, you could say they lost a lot of momentum, but they actually did very well, in my opinion, because what happened was that France had a penalty and they kicked it out, obviously, for a line-out within the last few seconds of the first half. And yeah, Scotland were able to actually defend the line-out and actually crawl, get the ball onto them, and I believe Van der Merwe was able to just kick it out. So yeah, France, Scotland did very well to actually defend that, because obviously if France did get that, they would have had a lot more momentum actually going into like the second half. So yeah, credit to Scotland within that area. But obviously after half time, France did actually get the first try. I believe it was in the 45th minute. And France, pretty much what they did was that they went down really through the left hand flank, and again, yeah, there's more or less good run of tries, and yeah, really there was no one really to stop Penard, who just put the ball down, and that kind of put France back into a situation which they were, of course, I believe they were 3 points ahead of Scotland during that time. But yeah, obviously there are some changes being made within the next 40 to 50 mark. But then after that, really, Finn Russell then had a penalty, and that kind of brought the gap, you could say, a bit closer within that second half. But yeah, obviously there was more changes, but then what actually happened was that there was then a try for David Cherry within, I believe, the 60th minute, and yeah, that was a pretty well-worked try. Obviously there was a lot of, it was pretty much come off, I'm not going to say come off a maul, but more or less they had a maul, and then it kind of, the French lock, he kind of like brought it back, but it actually hit his face. So what happened was that obviously he hit his face, so it kind of meant that there was no knock on. And so what David Terry did was just pick up the ball, quickly ran in, and just scored the try. So it was a well-worked try, actually, and give him credit to that. He did pretty well to actually get that down. So that kind of put Scotland back within the game, actually, and now that kind of put them up, obviously, with Finn Russell converting that try. So yeah, that was a big moment, you could say, within this game for sure. But literally right after that, I'd say within the 65th minute, so only 5 minutes after that try, France then got another try to their name with Rugby, I believe the lock, and yeah, all he had to do was just come down into the right-hand flank, and a number of plays within the year 22, but at the end of the day, the French were too strong within that area, and all he had to do was just literally dive down and just score a try. So it was a pretty good, well-worked try for him, because obviously he was a player who had knocked it on earlier on, but yeah, what can you do within that situation, really? But yeah, then what actually happened was that this was probably the big moment within the game, with Finn Russell, getting a red card, which is a huge moment, obviously, because what happened was that Finn Russell had the ball within his hands, and he pretty much put his elbow on Bruce Stone's neck while he was trying to fend him off. So at the end of the day, it is a red card offence, and yeah, it's just you can't do much. Yeah, you can't do much about it really. I mean, even like Finn Russell came over the during, and they understood that it was just one of those situations which there was really no contact really in that situation. It was more just accidental, and you couldn't do much about it. So at the end of the day, I thought it was the right refereeing, with Wayne Barnes and the team off, and they made the right decision with that call. And yeah, obviously it didn't really affect the game too much. But at the end of the day, Scotland then, what happened was that then they kept on piling the pressure on the French, and I believe the French did get a yellow card. I believe it was Sirin, so he went off obviously, and he was no longer the player for the last 10. So yeah, really it was like 10 on 10 for the last 14 and 14. I mean, for the last 10 minutes. But more or less, what happened was that Scotland actually got an opportunity to win the game, and what happened was that France actually had the ball within their own Scotland's half, but they actually gave a stupid penalty actually, in the sense where they kind of went over, not rolling away. And Scotland were able to boot it up essentially, win a line out, obviously make a few mauls, make a maul, and then a few plays within the 22, and more or less they were able to just pressure the French. And I believe it went into the 83rd minute, I believe, and it was really within that area, and they just got the ball down within the left hand flank, just had to pass the ball out really, and Van der Merwe got a try to his name, and he won the game for Scotland. So yeah, that was a huge moment, because obviously I think a lot of people expected France to have they were kind of like, all of the talk was really for French, trying to beat that, trying to get a lot of points to actually go for the title. But yeah, Scotland ruined that opportunity, and obviously they converted that try, so that left it obviously 27 points to 23. So yeah, no, the Scots, they have been brilliant, I'd say, throughout this whole Six Nations. And I'm telling you right now, if Warren Gatland does not choose at least, I'd say, up to 7 players from the Scots, I'm going to be pretty upset, because I think Scotland have been brilliant to watch throughout this whole Six Nations. So yeah, obviously I'll make a team in the tournament probably next week, but more or less they will definitely have a few players in my one. But yeah, like I said, they should definitely be a lot of players will now be more, I'd say a lot more players will be considered for this Lions squad, so that's a great thing to hear. But yeah, at the end of the day, the table does mean that Wales do win the Six Nations. So yeah, just congrats to Wales. Yeah, you guys have totally deserved it. And yeah, just more or less, you guys have just had a brilliant tournament. Obviously, you weren't able to finish it off in style against the French, but yeah, I mean, you won at the end of the day. So that's the main thing. You got that title. So congrats to you guys. And more or less, that does mean now that Wales go into a pretty good situation now. And I believe that puts them on 20 points for the table, and I think the table goes like 20 points to Wales, 16 to France, 15 and 15 for Ireland and Scotland, and then you have the likes of England below, I believe, on 13 to 12, and then obviously you have Italy. So yeah, that's kind of how the table goes. I'll talk more about it within my next video, but just congrats to Wales and congrats to Scotland in winning against France. Yeah, anyway, just comment below, tell me guys what you think about the game. This has been a mind-blowing game, and obviously congrats to Wales again, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.